Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to accomplish two things. First, we're going to implement the logout functionality so that the user can log out, and also we're going to implement the settings functionality where the user can update their information such as username, email, password, and so on. So let's get started. So let's first log in to our app, and let's go to the settings component. So if you look at the bottom, you have a button called or click here to log out. So when the user clicks on this button, it should redirect the user to the home page and as well as reset all the state. So yeah. So let's go to the settings page, and we'll give a property to this button, an on-click handler, and we're going to name it logout. So let's write our function, logout function, and we're going to do three things over here. Okay, so the first thing is, let's just test it out first. Let's just console log into the console. Thing to do to see if everything works. So as you can see, 2D is being logged onto the console. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the routes, and we're going to use the remove item method from local storage to remove the auth user token. So we're going to replace the console with the remove item method. We're also going to let's search for push state method or function, sorry. So we're going to copy this, and we need to call this because we have to redirect the user to home page when they log out. So we can copy this and paste it over here right below the remove item method. We also need to we're going to require the dependency, the Reddit front-end easy. So let's do that. And now let's test our button. So if you click on logout, it should redirect us to the home page. So if you refresh, however, if you look at the nav bar, you still have the home, new article settings, learn UI dev. This is because we haven't, the auth state is still there. So what we need to do is we need to call the reset function on the auth state atom, the value of the atom. So we're going to require this in the settings component. Later on we'll refactor it to reframe. So for now, this should be good. So yeah, we need to pass the auth state as the argument to reset. And now if you refresh, let's test our button again. So let's go to settings, and if we click on logout button, everything should work. So we have successfully implemented the logout functionality. Awesome. Now the next step is to implement the settings form. So let's go to the JS code base and see how the settings form is implemented. So as you can see, we have the state, which captures the image, username, bio, email, and password. And we also have a function called update state, which takes a field, which returns a function, and this function again accepts an event object. And we are just updating the field, right? And we're calling the setState method. And in the onSubmit form, we are calling the prevent default, and then we are calling the onSubmit form, which is coming from the prop of this component. And we also have the two lifecycle methods, which updates the state, and we have the regular component that we have been seeing so far. So the first step is to declare the state in the settings form. We can just copy from the register component, and we also have to convert this form1 component into form2 component. Let's also add two new fields to our component, the image and the bio. The rest should be fine. And let's also import the reagent atom as a dependency. Okay, so the next step is to update the components itself. So we have to give it the onChange handler function as well as the value for each fields. So let's do that. Now let's test our, also let's give it the onSubmit handler. And now let's see how this onSubmit is implemented in our React code base. So if we go to the map state to props, we have a function called onSubmit form, which calls the settings agent save, which is making a put request on the user endpoint. So let's write a function called save user, which takes two arguments, the event and the user object, the user map. And we're calling the prevent default, and then for now we're just printing the user. And let's call that function in the onSubmit. So if you click on update settings, it should just log the user map for now. So as you can see, there is a problem. Okay. So as you can see over here, we are passing the auth state as an argument. So the initial state, instead of passing the initial state, we have to pass the auth state. So there you go, we have the auth state. So let's just pass, instead of initial state, let's just pass the auth state for now directly. Okay, so as you can see, when we refresh, something is not working, right? The username and email is not being populated, and the rest of the information is not being populated. So you know what, let's just forget about that, and for now let's just make sure that the component is pure. So we are accepting user as an argument, and we're going to pass the auth state when we are instantiating the component. But as you can see, it's not working, right? And this is because settings form is a form2 component, and we are requesting this auth state from the API. So by the time this component renders, because since it's a form2 component, it only renders once. So by the time you have that information back from the auth state, it won't re-render. So that's why we have this situation where the information is not being populated on the settings form. So how are we going to fix this? Well, this episode is getting a bit too long, so what I'm going to do is we are going to continue working on this functionality on the next episode, where we will fix this problem. So I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.